Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming. We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah, it's my turn!
Rotten ore, Christine. Each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink. This river, dry it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite!
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
You bastard!
To embrace
You the guts to fuck me!
secrets.
Fuck you!
Such a
Kill
burden,
you!
such a divine sin.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first. If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
Thank you, Nurse Crane. Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome.
Did he really? It's a good thing...
All members of staff have already read about your new blood
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised.
You must know, blood transfusions are doctor...
How are things?
Not good, to say the least.
An invisible enemy?
Sorry, Doctor. These last...
Do you think this hospital can survive?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to...
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help...
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift.
Most of them? Is there a problem?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something...
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end...
Is there anyone that...
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits.
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Doctor.
That's quite a blunt introduction.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a...
You have a keen eye.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you...
How is the situation?
You want to hear the situation is all right?
So what?
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Since you're...
It's a complete disaster.
It sounds like things have been...
Yesterday I got...
You left an infected patient...
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful.
Are you really...
And why not? I've already been attacked by a patient.
But you're not defending him.
You keep people alive your own...
I'd like to see you...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan...
Well, it's...
How would you...
It's serious.
You... Nurse Hawkins.
I wish I could believe you.
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning.
You're...
Sorry, Doctor.
How is the...
Well, not well. Milton the ambulance...
Why is Milton grumpy?
Milton's not the kind of man who's
Why does Milton dislike...
I don't know. Just ask him. But be...
Do you need medical help yourself?
I'm fine.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken...
You guessed right, Doctor.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same.
How is your stay with us?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death and...
Can I ask you precisely why you're a...
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurt.
Who is treating you? Is someone in...
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned...
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect.
Where we... No offense.
You weren't.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking. this is how it ends. Farewell, my life, you betrayed me, good.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please.
I can hear my body crumble from the inside.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's
delusional, you say? Oh, sad and pet. You can't...
I'm assuming you must be a patient here.
It's only a cover.
Who are these enemies you mentioned?
I cannot say for sure. But
The staff...
I'm not speaking of the doctor.
I see.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with the...
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean...
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal?
I'm curious to know who you were.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the...
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the...
I'll leave you, Miss...
So many deaths. And still more coming. How can we be sure we're making a difference?
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody... So, Mr. Hook. And Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well. It's locked. It's locked, all right. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly nice and polite.
Thank you, Doctor. That's...
How did you end up in...
I had received alarming news.
Why did...
William was an alcoholic. His...
You dared...
I'm just a man trying to help his friend.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tension.
Who leads?
Since Clay Cox went
Has the gang...
no.
Do you know...
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption...
People are...
How could it be other?
Who should...
Not really.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton?
I manage a night asylum for...
Are you a...
Not at all.
Why didn't...
That's a...
Have you made...
Not really.
You never...
You're preaching.
How do you...
I feel it.
You're in good...
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. Good evening, Milt.
Good evening, Doc.
I have some...
What?
I retreat...
Well, yeah.
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this... Money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody's as broad...
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
During the...
Maybe you're...
You do...
Come on.
Do you need any...
I'm fine, Doc.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening, Doc.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this?
To become a nurse. Maybe you're...
What steps are you prepared to take to feed...
I don't know.
And what about...
For Milton.
If you feel...
On the contrary.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm fine.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
This shift never ends.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard.
Does my arrival...
Let us just...
Thank you for your time.